back to real time here. There's the oil that came out of the loader. It's kind of a nice honey brown. I mean, chances are there's 17 different kinds of oil in here, so we extracted at least a gallon. Got the PTO pump off. And I know you Ford guys, you tractor guys are gonna go, oh yeah, dummy, that's exactly how it goes. Well, here's the shaft that goes through the center pin and mates up to the surface of the crank pulley. There are supposed to be 4 posts. And yeah, 2 are completely gone. Let me get you in a better view. There it goes. 2 of them have completely worn to nothing. Yeah. The nice thing is we figured out before we went too crazy on everything is that the PTO shaft, this is threaded on, is threaded to this coupler, and it's left-handed threads. See that? I mean, that's just kind of common sense. We're just taking our time and looking at it and figuring it out. Like I said, you Ford guys, tractor guys are probably going, yeah, of course, that PTO shaft is reverse thread and left-handed thread. But look at that. Look at that. Well, that's pretty cool. Looks like a little more lathe work. So one of the things we did come to a conclusion is that we're going to replace the alternator belt, fan belt, while we're here. And I guess I hadn't really looked at this front end that closely, but with the PTO shaft going through that center pin, you can't change the belt. This belt doesn't look horrible, but it's not new. And when that PTO shaft's in there, you can't change your belt. So if we were to dump a belt up there, it'd be quite a process. We'd have to go through all this mess just to pull that shaft out so we could change the belt. So we're going to change the belt now. Well, not right now. I got to go buy a belt, but you know what I mean. Pulled the grill. Pulled that bottom support plate. Dug out a bunch of debris from the little valley pan here. I don't know how well that's going to light balance. And then there's a valley pan in the front of the oil pan where the crank pulley is. Not horrible. That looks lovely. Center pin's not horrible. It's not great. Yeah. The hole is not ovaled. Well, you can see that kind of in the shade. But it did not get through the shim. I should be able to knock that shim out and be good. Yeah, things are coming along. And I'm super greasy, so I'm screwing up my camera right now. All for the YouTube audience. It's awesome. So we're going to start pulling out some of these shims and see where we get from there. So we got the bushing knocked out. What'd you do with it? It's in the garbage here somewhere. Got the old bushing knocked out of there. Seems like it's steel. It's interesting. The new one is brass or bronze. This one's nice and silver and shiny. And it rings like steel. But here's what's interesting. Makes me wonder if this is the original pin. Look at that. Look at that keyed hole. Right, this is where the PTO shaft comes through off the crank pulley that runs the hydraulic pump in the front. Imagine this is the front of the tractor. Look at that. It makes me wonder if this is the original pin, because that looks like that would be for a hand crank. It's got the ears on it, like you would put a hand crank in there to fire this thing off. And the new one doesn't have it. It's just wide open. I don't know. Food for thought. What do you guys think? Alright, so I really only had a couple hours to spend on this thing today. I'm going to start cleaning up some tools. Got the front end pulled, the front axle pulled. Got the spindle bushings knocked out. Got the center bushing knocked out. Let me show you what we found. So here are the 5 bushings that got knocked out. This is the bushing to the center pin on the axle. There's no part number or anything on here, although there's a CGB stamped right here. I don't know what that means. See if you guys can see that. Where is it? CGB. But here's what I find is pretty cool and pretty interesting. Is where are we? Look at this. Look at that. Look at how cool that is. There's a T on the top, and then it says Ford, then it says USA. Anybody who's worked on original Model Ts, you think they use the same shims in a Model T? I don't know. It's using that L-head Model T engine.